we thought we were brilliant. And I failed so much, so hard, lost double-digit percentages of our account with, in just one trade, and did it multiple times. And it was a very humbling process. And
we got real lucky one time, and then we were like, we have no education and we need to try to figure this out. So we need to actually find help and assistance. Education. And so we've done other services. We've paid,
way more than Jonathan ever cost. Way more than
what your service is.
And we've been let down time and time again, lost money with their recommendations. And since we've joined with Jonathan, we've learned a lot of things that help you analyze the market, and it's been invaluable. Your service is invaluable.
That's really incredible.
It wasn't even 10 days later, and all of a sudden we had a cumulative total of all of those positions up 808%. And we had less than $6,500 in the trade, and we made out with more than $54,000.
That's unbelievable. You guys went in a little heavy on the first trade, jumping in $2,500 right away, but that is a beautiful trade, a lovely story, good patience. I'm glad you survived that one. I'm on here, it's Jonathan. I'm on here with Brian and Chandra, and Brian sent me a note, which was really profound and touched a lot of people who read it. So that's why I kind of reached out to Brian and asked for him to join, so we could just talk through it. And definitely my first time meeting Brian, and Chandra came as well. So guys, it's great meeting you.
It's good to meet you. Nice seeing you too.
Well, we see you every day.
Yeah.
So
yes.
Now you get to see us.
Our benefit.
Yes, this is a nice balance. Do you guys watch together?
Yes, always. Mm-hmm. And matter of fact, our 5-year-old sometimes joins.
Yeah, he joins too.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's very sweet.
From you.
And our little girl, she's 2. She's going to learn as well.
He's actually started to learning how to trade, because he says that if I make his bed, he'll make the market go up. So he's a little trader.
Then, So then we make his bed. They don't
exactly.
So well. So I'm going to start, if it's all right. I'm just going to read what you wrote, and then I have some questions for you guys, and you can, just be on here and have a natural conversation, which wherever we go is perfect.
Okay.
So Brian sent over, he said, last year was one of the hardest and best years for my family. The wife nearly died while carrying the last addition to our family. She was going into VTAC at 8 months. My buddy made me realize the dire situation I found myself in. He told me they will let her die while they rip your child out of her and then try to shake her back to life. Luckily, it didn't get that far that day. After what looked like an episode of House MD, the maternal fetus medicine doc said to deliver the baby during... Okay, bro, this is tough to read. The hospital bill for my wife was $250,000, and the hospital bill for the beautiful baby girl she gave birth to was $500,000. I would write down all the lessons I've learned from JR, but honestly, they are too numerous. But I will share the results. I was brand new to options. I had bought and sold some stocks with some success, but that is the extent of my trading experience. I only allocated $200,000 for trading via JR's method, and he doubled that in less than a year. JR, you are a legend, buddy. So maybe just take me back to that, or if you can share in your own words, through that. It's thank you for sharing. It's difficult to read because it's just so touching. So definitely.
It was kind of hard. I mean, if you start a little bit before that, we were coming off of a high, because my eyes were first open to the market when we invested in Tesla. My tax guy, he told us that we really should be stuffing money into our IRA. So I did it, and I had no idea where to put it. So I stuffed every bit of Chandra's IRA and every bit of my IRA straight into Tesla, right before Tesla was about to go bankrupt from the Model 3 process. And it was I think the stock was at $20 if you normalize it for all the stock splits. And obviously, that story turned out very well for us. And And so my eyes were kind of opened as to what type of power the market has when you can, be patient and let something work. And so we thought we were brilliant. And I told her that I wanted to try more things. And I failed so much, so hard, lost double-digit percentages of our account with, in just one trade, and did it multiple times. And it was a very humbling process. And we got to the point that it was.
Well, I think also is that we didn't have the education, and we both I'm a board certified behavior analyst, and Brian, he's a software engineer. Like we understand the importance of education. And so we started to be like, what are we doing? Like we got real lucky one time, and then we were like, we have no education and we need to try to figure this out. And I think that when we never thought that, we had infertility for 15 years before we even had our son, and we thought we'd never be parents. And that was, we're living the dream, being able to have kids. Never thought we could. And so then when we were faced with me almost dying, and Brian also recognizing he really wanted to search, and he's like, okay, we need to be serious. We need to actually find help and assistance. Education. And so we've done other services. We've paid, way more than
Jonathan ever cost.
Than what your service is.
And we've been let down time and time again, lost money with their recommendations. And I heard JR tell us one time, and he said that those analysts don't care about you. What they're peddling has nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
And it's so true that what one man recommends, it might be good for the goose, but it's not good for the gander. It might not be pertinent to your situation, your account. You don't know whether you have a delta neutral position, or if you're just fully short on the market and they're recommending you more shorts. And it's just, and everything that we went to and everyone that we listened to, it wasn't right for us. And it didn't help teach us anything to be able to move in and out of the market or manage our own account.
And like our first trade that we did, like we left it in for 6 years, never touched it, never put it in, never looked at it again. Right. Well, we were at a point with all of the stuff that happened medically and everything that we had to start having the market make something for us. And what we were doing wasn't working. And I also recognized it just really zeroed in on how important family is and how much we wanted to spend time with our kids as much as possible. And so how do we replace both of our types of incomes, and what do we do? And is that possible? And when we found you, and there's just the power of options and the ability to leverage that, I was blown away. But yet also I'm sometimes more skeptical. And so we paper traded for a long time.
Whoa, it's because I screwed up so much and so consistently and lost such a huge percentage. We and lost such a large percentage of the account that, that false confidence from thinking we were brilliant with Tesla, it spiraled into, haughtiness and led to foolish decisions with no real trading plan, no strategy, no way to analyze the market. And since we've joined with Jonathan, we've learned a lot of things that help you analyze the market, and it's been invaluable. Your service is invaluable.
Yeah. That's really incredible. So I love just hearing the story, and I like that you guys are just working together in order to, it's your life. It's serious, and to be able to, to have that discussion about money. It's nice to be able to hold Tesla for 6 years, but maybe a portion of our net worth, we do that rather than going all in with one company. Mm-hmm.
That was a bad idea.
Tesla is is in the single digits. That's for sure.
Right. So let me get into, I have a couple of questions for you guys that if it gets you guys thinking about something, great. If not, we'll just move on. You did, Brian, you did say that the kind of like the learning curve when you started, and you said you didn't know your head from your butt. But what did you mean by that? Did you guys not have any options experience before you joined? Because oh, that's awesome. Because some people are so scared of buying options. So
I was scared. The market teaches every single person that you listen to teaches you to be scared of options. Everybody talks about how you can lose your whole entire account, and nobody tells you that, hey, that's by selling naked calls or tier 3 options. No, and no brokerage is going to just straight out a preview for that. And so it's all just fear mongering.
Yeah, that's one of the things that I really love about you, Jonathan, is that you're looking to help teach everybody to be successful. And so me as a behavior analyst, I go in and I change people's lives by helping. I work a lot of times with people who have kids with autism and stuff like that. And I love it. And I look at trends and I look at different things, and you do that with the market. And I don't know if you're quite aware of how brilliant you are and how you break down how to trade. And so when you come from my perspective, I'm reading research articles all the time. I'm doing all of these things to be prepared to be able to go into families. I don't have time to read an options book, nor will I probably I'll probably fall asleep. I probably won't even stay awake throughout the whole thing. And then it just gets overwhelming. And then you talk to friends and they're like, oh, that's so risky. Don't do options. And these are like financial people. And I'm like, but I think it's just because what they've been taught, and they're just kind of like drinking that Kool-Aid. And I was like, but there's something different. And so the way that you break down, I look at you as a scaffolding sensei, where you're able to break down how to do options, the way to put it in, finding the trade, and then executing it. And you do it in such a simple manner that's repeatable and measurable. And it's something that has changed our life. And I think that what you have is beyond anything that any other service has.
That is so incredibly sweet to say. Thank you. Yeah. I'm not familiar with other services. So, it's having the community to be able to work together. And obviously the community helps me a ton as well, but just trying to keep the community focused on what we're actually doing, rather than everyone kind of runs in different directions. And I'm like, it makes it difficult sometimes for me to even go in there and like, what are you guys talking about?
and don't sell yourself short, because yes, the community is amazing. Yes, the community brought me 90% of the way to feeling like I knew what gamma scalping was, and not just gamma scalping, but lots of different topics. The community helped me get 90% of the way to feeling like I knew what I was talking about. You made me feel 100% comfortable with executing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the difference. You can know about something, but then doing it and putting it into practice and feeling comfortable and feeling knowledgeable and feeling like you will see success.
Yeah.
It's a different story to know that you're going to find success than to know that you know how to do something.
Yeah.
And you change that. You're the delta, you're the change in going from community to going from and feeling like you know about it to feeling like you could do it, execute it, make a plan, follow it.
Yeah.
You guys said that you paper traded for a while to just feel confident that you could kind of just understand the discussions more. What really clicked for you, or can you talk about the timing that it took, and did one of you guys get it a little bit quicker in helping the other ones, or how does that work? Because I always say there's if there's 10 steps to learning, some people slow down on the step 2 to 3. Some people learn it really fast and they get too stubborn, so they have a tough time really pushing forward. So was there a difference kind of in your learning rhythm? And talk about that if you would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I think the only place where she was catching some hangups was when you told me that when that options are just stock.
Mm-hmm.
It blew my mind. I was like, wow. And that's when it also helped me catapult into being able to gamma scalp. But I helped drag her along through the conversion process. That is,
I wasn't kicking and screaming. I was willing.
Yeah, she was willing. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was that. That's the only part of the process.
There was a few things where I needed. I'm like, explain that to me again. Like, what do you mean? How do you do that? And he can do numbers. He can look at things and just do them like instantly in his head, right? I'm like, where's my spreadsheet? I'm like, can we put it down? Can we walk through it? And I think one of the things, because you break it down step by step, and so it's very easy to enter in the option.
That's why she calls you a scaffolding master, because it's a behavior term.
It's a behavior term. How you break it down, and you do successive approximations to obtain that goal. And so you give these little steps to be able to reach that goal. And
you also appropriately pull away so that you can let people feel like they're doing it by themselves. Mm-hmm. That way they can gain that confidence.
Yeah. And I think that was really important. And so I think that as far as like being comfortable whenever you're paper trading, like it's really easy to put it in and say, I executed the trade. The thing that I think is like whenever it goes live and you're like, this is real, like, this is like, how do you trust? And I feel like the way that you've identified to get rid of FOMO and the fear of missing out, I think that's also really important. I think we were just chasers before, and now it's just really nice to be able to set those limits, to be able to recognize what you want. And so in regards to paper trading and how we were doing it, we saw some really big ones go, and we were like, if that was real, it would have been real, but it was on paper.
There's one extreme benefit to paper trading, and it is agonizing to miss out on all the fun. You basically paper trade until you are absolutely chomping at the bit to go play in the same playground as the big boys. And I will forever remember my last paper trade. My last paper trade was a huge one. It's JR saw this company come onto the UOA scanner, the unusual options scanner, and there was a ginormous amount of puts getting put on this company. And not even a week later, it was found out that they were killing people in their trials. They were a biotech company, and it went so far south.
Yeah.
It was a huge win.
For you. Great job. Great for us.
It was a great paper win.
Do you remember which ticker it was?
I don't remember the ticker.
Go back and look at it.
It was May time of 2024.
Yeah.
We do, just coming from the professional side, you do want to practice until it is a video game, because it's like if trading was a video game, you would perform better because you would be that far removed from it. And so you do want to feel like it's a little bit distant from you. And it's also helpful that you guys have one another to have that conversation of what are we comfortable risking in this position through the duration of it, where you don't really have to decide to add more or maybe even less. You make that decision beforehand, and it's cool to write down some reasons for being in the trade. And as long as those still hold true, it's like you can help hold one another accountable, where we said, this is what we were willing to do. Everything is still holding true. It's a good trade for us.
Oh, yeah.
Totally exactly what
gaining that confidence and helping each other, that actually helped us get to our best trade ever. Personally, our personal best trade, not our JR personal best trade, but one of the ideas that we had.
Because you taught us to fish.
You taught us to fish, and you taught us to tranche, and you taught us position sizing matter, and you taught us to believe in the initial position, the initial core strategy around the trade. When you believe that your research matters and the thesis of the trade still holds true, you stick with it, and you can tranche up to 3 times. Well, there was the very first trade that we did went against us so hard, so unbelievably hard. We picked up Sky T in July, at the end of July, and they were 9 calls. and we paid like some 40 cents. We paid $2,500 for our first position. Mm-hmm. The trade went against us so bad. Yeah. And then the 9 calls.
But not bad because we still had time. And we were like, the thesis is still there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
We bought the August 16 expiries. And the thesis was still there. So we felt like it was worth a second tranche. And so we tranched in when the 9 strikes. We're now trading for 10 cents. And then we tranched in.
No.
We tranched in for $2,100.
No, and that was because I saw the unusual option scanner.
You saw it before the third tranche.
The unusual option scanner popped up, and I called Brian. I called Brian, and I was like, I wasn't home, and I said, this just popped up on the unusual option scanner.
She was screaming at me.
I was like, not screaming.
She was yelling. She was like, go look now.
Go look now. Buy more.
This is the confirmation you needed. It's good.
And so we found the confirmation that we needed to continue to believe in the thesis of our trade. We tranched in a third time, and it was the trade had gone against us so bad, JR, that the 8 strikes were now worth only 10 cents. So the stock was trading at 5, and we picked up the third tranche for 10 cents. That thing skyrocketed and it wasn't even 10 days later, and all of a sudden we had a cumulative total of all of those positions up 808%. And we had less than $6,500 in the trade, and we made out with more than $54,000.
That's unbelievable. You guys went in a little heavy on the first trade, jumping in $2,500 right away, but that is a beautiful trade, a lovely story. Good patience. I'm glad you survived that one.
Well, the thing is like, I think teaching us tranching, I think, was the biggest, because all of the other training that we did, like when the stock would go down, I didn't realize how to cost basis and how to like get a better pricing, and like that just changes everything.
Tranching in is huge. It's absolutely one of the biggest reasons why you've made us successful, is because it keeps your position size to the point that you say, I believe in this trade and I'm okay if I lose everything.
Right.
And then, just like you've heard JR say so many times, I didn't hear no bell. And you let that trade keep fighting all the way until expiration.
It's true. And you see it in our Discord. Some people are getting upset if they cover a trade, but it ends up working. Like, there's no reason to get out. And if you're covering your trade because you're not willing to hold until you lose all the money, just trade a little bit smaller. Don't risk $1,000, risk $800. Mm-hmm. And that way, too, you could travel and if you stay somewhat delta neutral, you don't have to stare at the market all the time. I love that the market's pulling back huge today. It's going to give us so much more opportunity.
Yeah.
It's
everything's going on sale.
It's the most peaceful. It's the most peaceful way I've ever learned how to trade, is to be delta neutral and just throw your hands up and just wait for your positions to move and print.
Yeah,
it's so fun.
Well, and the other thing is volatility. What do you say?
Volatility is a feature, not a bug. It's our friend.
Haven't you said that?
I like that.
And didn't you say that, Jonathan? It's a feature, not a bug. So if something's volatile, we love it.
Yeah.
You like fancy stocks.
It gives opportunity. It gives us great ways to cost average into these trades. And whenever you can buy an option for a dime, you have so much leverage and opportunity, and it's so fun. Mm-hmm. And especially with how the market's moving, there's quite a bit of opportunity. So I don't want to keep you. I appreciate you guys so much for joining. Is there anything else we left out? Is there anything else that you want to add for a last second bit? Or
I am just so grateful to you and for everything that you do, because you've changed our life, and we get more time with our kids. We get to learn and understand how to tackle a market because you break it down for us, and we are forever grateful.
That's invaluable. Yeah, you have no idea how valuable what you do for us is, because of all the time that we get to spend with the children. When your research, and I know you spend hours and hours doing research and finding all the nooks and crannies in the market, and we don't have to go do that. And we've been with you long enough that we have with
you for life.
Yes,
because that is just worth it.
Yeah. And the most beautiful thing is that we've been with you long enough and paper trading with you. We paper traded with you long enough that we learned that we can trust everything that JR puts out. And so we've been a part of, I would say, easily 90% of the trades. And the only reason why we miss the other ones is because we've learned from Eddie too. And your community is absolutely beautiful. And if a trade skyrockets right after JR says get in, you don't chase. You don't have the FOMO. You don't have, there's always going to be another trade. JR finds all of the best pockets of the market to be a part of. And you don't have to have that, I needed to be a part of this. No, you don't. There's always going to be one more trade. He's a master at finding opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's really, really important, is that you, and the way that we're able to work together, I think is really it's been fun. We're able to keep each other accountable. We're able to.
Yeah. And when she's not here to keep me accountable, I usually jump onto the community to find out what people are talking about, because there's a lot of sense that comes from all of our members. Our community is so invaluable, because there's no way that you can have your thumb on the heartbeat of every sector of this market without having a community at your back. And our community does that easy. Yeah, absolutely beautifully.
Well,
yeah, I was going to say that's one of the core reasons of having a community too, just to educate people so you can find and you can cover more and more of the market. Because you're right, we can't cover we can't all cover the entire market, but when Eddie's sharing something about gold, I'm going to listen. He knows, he's been with me for 6 years. He knows exactly the trades that we're looking for.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that that's what's nice, is that the community, like, we're fortunate to have me and Brian be able to go back and forth with each other, but then we use the community a lot. And it just so happened we set it up with my email, but he had the Discord. So sometimes, like, I'm Brian in the Discord. I was like, I don't think we can ask for a second Discord name so that people see that it's two different people. So
no need.
It's all of us, like, being able to work with each other. And but the community, and from like a behavior management perspective, for me, the way that you have the community set up, and then how you add it in and have them as owls and being able to help, like, that is a part of the scaffolding that you're providing that I think is so important, according to, like, being able to foster a learning environment and how you've done it. Like, it's like, it blows my mind. I think that you guys have a really great, just the way that you've set things up and to support, and there's no other service that supports you the way that Masters in Trading does.
Yeah. And the challenge is amazing, because we didn't have options 2 access for the first 10 months of our trading career. And, excluding the 2 months of paper trading,
it was first 8 months, just not getting approved.
And so we had to work hard to make sure that we were positioned well and until we could actually get options level 2. But we got all the way through options level 2. We'd executed on vertical spreads, and multiple other complicated trades. And we still took your challenge, and we still learned more.
Yeah.
I mean, because your challenge wasn't available right at the beginning when we joined Masters. And even with trading with you for 8 months, it still taught us a lot. And it helped refine our plan.
To it,
yeah.
And listen to it and follow different things and make sure. And I think the other big thing that you talk about is like a memory bank, and being able to put in what have you learned and how can you move forward from here, and really having, like, it's just the simple things that you put in place that make the biggest impact. And I think that if you can take us who didn't know anything about the market, and now I can look at a trade, I can look at different things, I can do it quickly on my phone, I can do it, whether or not on the computer, and it's awesome. I think that.
And I think it's so brilliant, because you've actually taught us how to lay the market bare to where we can analyze things that we know are true. We don't have to listen to any analyst. We can go in and we can look at skew. We can go in and look at what we believe to be market sentiment by analyzing how many call options, what happens, what your UOA scanner would normally pick up. And even if it's not picking it up on the UOA scanner, we can still gauge our sentiment just by looking at the volume of, not the volume, but the open interest of calls that have been, just bought today.
Yeah. I think that the tools that you provide are imperative to keep us being able to build that confidence.
Oh, the tools are amazing. The Thinkorswim tools, the expected move tools, it's amazing. Oh my gosh, amazing. It's a game changer. Never knew the crack spread was out there. It's amazing. Yeah. There's so many things that you provide that are...
We could talk to you forever on everything that you've done.
It just lets you to be creative and to find random things. And now with ChatGPT and how easy it is to research, it's, it's when things could become fun because you're doing research, you're finding things in your own niche where you guys are experts, and you end up finding trades that I would never find, and eventually you're sharing in the community, and the community is just getting better and better.
That's exactly right.
So, you guys are awesome. I appreciate this so much.
Thank you, JR.
We'll do anything for you, whatever you need.
Thank you. That's very sweet. All right. Well, it was also great meeting you guys.
It was lovely to meet you, JR.